Live people, and hello everybody else that's not watching this live from a very snowy morning here in the Catskill Mountains. Winter has finally arrived, and we're here for tarot time to get a little bit of a heads up on the energies to expect for the coming week in our lives, as in our community, in the world at large. And I do a meditation card, a 3 card spread. I've got other divination tools. So we get a nice, well rounded take on what's going on with the energies, and whatever we pick up energetically, we can kind of translate that into possible events in our lives. So if you're watching this as a video, just hang out for another minute or two. I like to let the live people get their notifications. So hi Yvonne, and do I have my glasses? No, no, I don't. Well, we'll do our best without glasses. They're broken anyway, so I can still see. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. Who are you? Trans women are sexiest men. Well, welcome. And if anybody's here and you're new and you want to say hi, or even if you're not new and you want to say hi, and let us know where in this big world, this big wide world that you are living in and watching from, that would be awesome. So hi Jody, hi Anna, hi Linda and Brooke and Judy and Yvonne, and Mr. Floyd's channelings is on, and Claire's on, and hi Janice, welcome, and Millie, Suzette, Anna, good morning, and Christine. Okay, I, that's as far back as I'm gonna go. Obviously, you guys have been expecting me, so we're gonna dive in a second. Sometimes I like to kind of keep up on what's going on in the world and current events. I mean, what's going on? The Trump show rolls on. Crazy things with the Supreme Court. Um, the Clintons have been in the news, as well as the royal family in connection with the infamous Epstein. So we may start to get some more news surfacing about what's going on in the world with human trafficking and stuff like that. I mean, generally speaking, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with current events. It's like always changing every day, but we're still like kind of finishing up this process that I call the Great Purge, as the energies continue to ramp up and increase, and the frequencies continue to get stronger, affecting the earth domain and affecting collective consciousness, therefore affecting us individually. And we start to sort of trend into the great shift. So after the purging, and we're clear of, for some of us, maybe thousands of years of karma, of negative history here on the planet, here in our our Akashic Records. By the way, it's Akashic Records month on Spirit Mind Family, which is our Patreon group. If anybody's interested in diving deeper into the topics we cover on the Medium channel, that's our inner core community. So we have a theme every month. This month it's Akashic Records month. So we do deeper channeling work with the master teachers and have exclusive content there. So this and other things I'll leave in the pinned comments. But where was I? Anyways, the idea is we want to really get more of a snapshot of what's going on energetically and how that's likely to affect us. And a lot of us, because we're still in that great purge going to the great shift, so we shift from one level of frequency to another, which is a higher consciousness and higher awareness. And through that higher awareness, we discover more of who we are, not just as a human, like I'm not Adam, I'm spirit, having a human experience through this physical body and this physical life that was named Adam, but that's not who I am. I'm spirit, right? I'm energy, and so are you. So that's part of this shift. A lot of people are awakening and will be awakening to higher levels of spirit, which is really higher levels of themselves and who they truly are and who you truly are. So that's really part of the shift. And as that's kind of easing into collective consciousness, a lot of people have awakenings and start to question a lot of what goes on in the world and in society, and start to recognize the control mechanisms that are in place, that have been in place for a very long time here on the planet. And it gets more sophisticated as the technology gets more sophisticated. So now, they have AI tools and, things we may not even understand, to really help to keep, the masses in line, so to speak, so that, again, those select few that are controlling what goes on in the societies here on planet Earth, to make so that they can maintain their control, at the detriment of everybody else, basically. So it's a big revolution that's happening in consciousness and in the world. And when we hit Aquarius season, that starts around the 20th, there's some big lunar events and other events that are going on simultaneously, and Pluto's hitting Aquarius also. So once all this energy hits Aquarius, that Uranus ruled astrological sign that's of higher mind and freedom, and revolution and evolution, this revolution in consciousness will continue, and it's going to create, some revolutionary energy here on planet Earth. And there may be, some terrorist attacks or domestic terrorism in the US and other countries, and more about the wars and people just going in that way. So that's basically, the energy that we're in. So before we dive into the meditation card, this week is good to really deepen your meditation practice, with the intention of clearing old subconscious shadows from this and other lifetimes, this and other realities. And that goes back again to being Akashic Record Month on Spirit Mind Family. But that carries over to the Medium channel also. So anyway, I'm missing a lot of your comments, but thank you. Claire saying Virginia is beautiful. Virginia Beach is where the Edgar Casey Foundation is located. Yeah, I've never been there. I used to do readings at the ARE, the Association of Research and Enlightenment, which is the Edgar Casey Foundation in Manhattan, that chapter, New York City. But they I think they closed several years ago. But I used to do mediumship groups there, and readings there also, and was somewhat involved in the community. Hi, Paulina, welcome, or Pauline, I'm sorry, welcome. So let's do our meditation card for the week. And okay. Say, I know there's a couple of announcements, so let me just say quickly that this Wednesday, the 10th, we're going to do on Zoom healings and channeling with the master teacher. So these are groups of 8 that I do. So we keep these groups small. I think there's still about 3 or 4 openings. So information will always be left on the pinned comment when this becomes a video on events that are coming up. So we do frequency channeling, and as the master teachers channel through me, they're able to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. If you have health issues, what might be at the core of that, and you'll offer frequency healing for you to help you to heal yourself. Really, nobody's going to heal you but you, basically. But through like practices like Reiki or energy healing, or the channeling work that I do, we're helping to invoke frequencies to upgrade, well, not upgrade, but to enhance your systems to heal yourself. Hopefully that makes some sense. Then on the 16th, which is a Tuesday, we're doing a mediumship night on Zoom. So that's like $20. So we keep things priced down. The channeling sessions, $33, maximum of 8. Mediumship is maximum of 20, and then we do that on Zoom. And starting February 8th, a 5-part course on my program that I channeled, called Power Attunement, that I feel is the ultimate empowerment course for law of attraction work, for self-healing, developing your intuition, and stepping into your higher power, basically. So there's 7 steps I call the 7 treasures, and it's step by step. And that course is $200, but it includes a 2-hour audio program that has the meditations and then 5 2-hour class. So anyway, there'll be information on that also. Okay, back. Okay, so those are our public service announcements for the Medium channel and Between the World, which is my company. Back to tarot. So meditation card for the week. We are going to ask Spirit to work through me so I pick the right card for this collective, which is our community that's on right now, both live and as a video. And so clearing my mind. So a little motto around here is when you're thinking, you're not connecting. When you're connecting, you're not thinking. So we don't want to connect. We want to be in flow state. And that starts with presence and opening the heart and embracing higher energies. So as I do that, this is a card I've drawn to. And this is interesting. We may have gotten this before as a meditation card also. So meditating with tarot, there's obviously different ways of doing it, but the way that I do it and the way that I teach it here is like any other meditation. You get present, starting with the breath, opening the heart, getting present. And this is the Morgan Greer deck. This is the Two of Wands or the Two of Rods in the Morgan Greer deck. You may have your own tarot cards. You can use your card or take a mental snapshot of this. The image looks clear for a change on my webcam, so that's good. So you can see the card pretty clearly. So once you're present in your mind, you step into the card like you're opening a door into a new reality. And the first thing is when you step in, because you're not thinking, you're present and open. You just, not through thinking, but just through gently setting intention, just sort of ask yourself, how do I feel? Like when you step through into the card, what feels different? Starting with your energy, do you feel happier? Do you feel, more anxious? So gauging your emotions, your energy that way. And maybe you may get colors or you may hear sounds or ethereal music or musical notes. These are all ways of attuning to the energies once you're in the card. You may get psychic smells also. And you may get scenery. This is just the doorway. There's a whole panoramic 360-degree view, a whole reality that you're stepping in. So you go in, there may be other beings. This may be a guide. Keeping in mind the number 2 is very reflective, so it's really about understanding the dynamics of relationships, starting with the relationship with yourself. So whatever relationship with you have with yourself, that's going to reflect in the relationships you have with other people. Whether it's romantic partners, family members, friends, colleagues at work, nature, pets, whatever it is. It all starts with the relationship with yourself. So the idea, as I'm talking with this meditation card, maybe go into the intention of how am I going to heal the relationship with myself. And I still have a cold, by the way, since Christmas. So how am I going to heal the relationship with myself? Step number 1 for a lot of you in this collective is to not feel guilty or shameful about anything. In other words, we all make mistakes, right? There's things that I've done, that I've said, important things that I'm not terribly proud of, that we're not coming from spirit or higher consciousness. They were more coming from selfishness and ego and stuff like that. But I'm not going to feel guilty or shameful about that, because then I get stuck in that energy and I don't evolve. And according to Dr. David Hawkins, that's the lowest rung of the emotional frequency scale is guilt and shame. So you don't want to feel that, but rather, not to, okay, let me back up a second. Don't feel guilty or shameful about or negative self-judgment. Rather be present in the moment, and life starts right now. Whatever you feel now can affect your past and your future. So the idea is to you go in and heal the relationship with yourself, starting by not feeling guilty or shameful. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too fat, you're not too thin. You are just the way you're supposed to be right now in this moment. as the launching pad to your next step of spiritual growth and evolution. So that's what I'm feeling as the message behind this card as you go into this. And Wands is action, Wands is energy, it's fire. Two again is duality, reflectiveness. So you can reflect on yourself, and it's fine to you take personal inventories. Like, I did this and that wasn't very nice or whatever, but don't feel guilty or shameful. And then the next step is try not to feel angry or upset about other people that screwed you over. That's a big one also. So, getting the anger, fear, and that part of it done. And how do we overcome anger, fear, those types of emotions? We go into the heart, we go into spirit. Fear is an emotion based on survival. It's what part of our primitive human emotional responses to our environments or physical environments. Important. It's not negative. We probably wouldn't have survived as a species without it. But the thing is, if you want to expand into spirit, you want to transcend the human survival instincts, basically. So anyway, I think we get the idea, right? Um, so let me move on. Let's do a 3-card spread. And just sort of tap into the energies that way. I left my clipboard that I usually display my cards with in my office, so I'm gonna have to use my hands today. And it is still snowing. We have about I estimate about 10 inches here, 10, 11 inches. I haven't measured it. Okay, so again, I need to just take a second, step out, and clear my mind, connect with my guides, ask Spirit to help me pull the right cards for us for today, for this week. Yeah, we have a new moon coming up on the 11th, I believe. So, of course, we have a new moon forecast on Tuesday here in the channel. Then we have channeling, probably with Heather Istar and myself, but at least me, on Thursday. Nice. Good card. So, I usually like to have the clipboard, and then you can see more of it. But, I'll do my best this way. So we have the Empress. I have these in reverse order. I'm gonna get these the way that. Oh no, I had them in the right order. All right, or maybe not. There's a kind of a reflection on this. Well, anyway, all right. This is what I'm supposed to do. Empress is number 1. That was the first card. The King of Pentacles is the second, and then the World card is the third. I don't know if somebody's getting pregnant, but that's one of the things the Empress card can mean. So for some of you, you maybe some of your relatives or one of your relatives is going to get pregnant soon. But it's also, this is all good energy for money. So one of the things, for this week, we're still in Capricorn season. I think for our group is maybe looking at ways of enhancing your finances, basically, or you may get some good news about money, about work, about stuff like that. I think as I'm looking at the King of Pentacles, so let me start with the Empress, because that's Venus ruled. That's key 3 in major arcana. And it relates to anything related to love, security, positive finances. So it's a really beautiful energy, and it's also the Mother card. And so it definitely shows the divine feminine in its mother state, like Mother Mary or Kuan Yin. So it can be very healing. But I feel like this is a good energy for money. I think the King of Pentacles that comes in next. I think a lot with governments, with the Supreme Court rulings. We having a lot of news about January 6th and that whole scenario that you still belies in any logic or reason. How the one of the two or three most guarded buildings in the entire world was infiltrated so easily. We'll see if that ever comes out, how that happened or why that happened. Um, but until I get evidence otherwise, it just feels this was all kind of planned from back when. But whatever the case, so that's saying no pregnancy here. All right. So what's quality? I like to flash here. Heart map is that suppressive conscious thoughts is really need to enlighten for us. So Heart Math Institute. Basically in 1992, they came out with research that validates or proves that the heart is the most powerful electromagnetic generator in the body, and if you can work with the heart frequency, so that then you can tap into higher consciousness that way and manifest your reality. I mean, there's more to it than that, but yeah. So Horse saying the camera reverses the image. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, just getting some snowflakes now. Yeah. So yeah, we've been getting snow all night. It's let up some now, but anyway. So the King of Pentacles, King is kind of like sort of the ruler of his or her domain. Again, Pentacles is Earth, can be money, security. Also, the World card that's reversed, but two major Arcana cards. I think money, the economy is going to be in the news, highlighted this week. So keep an eye on your own personal finances. A lot of this is about security. So there may be just leaning, if you do investments, so look at the secure to stay in, be in there for the long haul. This is really about, having more patience and staying power and not allowing, people or things that come up in the news or whatever horrible news stories that come up or any of that stuff to sway you. Slow and steady wins the race is kind of the message I'm getting from this. And the world cards also, it's the Earth, but it's also connected to the energy to planet Saturn, and so is the sign Capricorn. So the government's really come under scrutiny. I think the Supreme Court comes under scrutiny. Roe versus Wade, all that stuff. Keeping Donald Trump off the ballots. That whatever he's indicted for or accused of or whatever, that may be found to be unconstitutional or unlawful in some way, shape, or form. Um, and it again, we're heading into that very revolutionary time, and the closer we draw to the elections, the uglier the infighting is likely to be between candidates, between people that support one or the other. Now, the interesting thing is, the Two of Wands, the meditation card, was a lot about duality, but these cards are more about unity. The key three is very important. Three is Jupiter rule, but three is like the 3 and 1 and the 1 and 3, and that's a very powerful spiritual energy. So divinity, there's often three sides, but it's really one. Like in Christianity, there's one God, right? But there's also the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that's kind of like three components to that. The Father being the universe. You could, as a metaphor, say the Sun is the earth and the Holy Spirit's the heart, or the energy or the frequency that God works with. And then in the matriarchal path, like in Wicca, it's the maiden, mother, and crone. So it's again the triple goddess, or the three faces of the goddess. So you get that a lot. And so three is an expansive, but it's also a unifying force, and it's a gateway to spirituality. Think Nikola Tesla 369 code. 6 and 9 are all multiples of three. So I've explained this in videos. I've explained this in other live streams. So very briefly, because it's coming up in the tarot cards, is that I need water. um, is that numbers one into, well, zero also. Zero is the void because zero is nothing. And out of nothing comes everything. So one, is the manifestation. Two is the duality. So zero, one, and two really talk about the physical universe, but three talks about the forces that influence the physical universe: energy, prana, consciousness, chi, all that stuff, God, goddess, all that stuff. So the number three are those forces that act on and change the fractal universe depending on how that energy is directed and channeled. And Nikola Tesla had an idea of that and talked about the magnificence of three and the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9. So very important. And again, a lot of this is about unity. The king is by himself, the empress is by herself, and the world is a unified being unto herself also. But yet everything that's unified under themselves is still one with collective consciousness and one with the whole. So in any event, what else? Yeah, finance, money, get grounded this week. The frequencies are likely to be very, very high again. We may see a lull like around Monday or Tuesday. I think for the next day or two, people tend to be pretty lighthearted and friendly. And then I think for whatever reason, when Tuesday rolls around, people get very agitated. And I think that's going to be maybe another solar activity or something along those lines. So again, yeah, I'm looking at your comment, Colleen, and yeah, the Empress can be about pregnancy, but it can also be pregnancy can be ideas. In other words, like some like since money's also highlighted, you may have ideas about your job or starting a business, or if you have a business or you're self-employed, what the next step is. So, that could be also part of the metaphor of pregnancy, is kind of letting, an idea gestate, basically mature, and maybe it's not the time to act yet. Mercury's still slow, even though it's direct, it's not out of its shadow yet. And we're also in kind of a slower time because the moon is waning into its dark phase now. The new moon is on Thursday, so usually around and before the new moon's a little bit of a quieter time energetically. So it's a good time to maybe go within more, not huge action time, though if you're called upon taking action, by all means do it. But the general trend is go within, let your ideas gestate, meditate on them, because then spirit will give you some new ideas. Always have to think outside of the box in today's world. What worked yesterday doesn't work today. So those of you that are entrepreneurs or spiritual entrepreneurs or want to be, think about what's going on now, what's going to be big in 2 to 3 years, and start doing it now. That way you're in place when the wave hits. Most people are constantly chasing that wave. It's kind of like the big computer boom in the early 2000s. People caught wind of it, they got on board. By the time they were in, it was too late. The bubble burst. And then what was it, like maybe in the early 2000 teens, when the cannabis industry was starting to become known, first the medical, and then Colorado legalized it, and Oregon did in other states. People that got in very early are making a lot of money. The Johnny come latelys aren't, because they waited too long. So again, just a couple of examples. Understand what's going on. People are getting more spiritual. People are looking for spiritual answers. People are looking for different ways to heal themselves or alternatives. So get an idea what's going on, what you're interested in, where your calling is, what you have to offer, what your experiences are, what people come to you for advice for. Everything you've done up until now, it's basically been your training for your ultimate life purpose on new earth. So we're transferring from old earth to new earth. So these are the things to maybe meditate on this week. And money's always a good thing. I don't care who you are or how spiritual you are or whatever. In this physical 3D matrix reality, it's always better to have money than not have money. And money's not of the 3D matrix. Money is energy. So remember that, because I think for some live stream, somebody was commenting in, just saying, if money, if it's all about the matrix, what do you care about money? Well, money is energy. So the more money you have, the more you can control and direct what goes on in your 3D matrix life. So it's not, money's just a physical counterpart to the spiritual principle of abundance. And it's not a physical linear thing. It's an energetic quality that we can tap into and create more physical abundance in this world so that we can more easily transcend it. Hopefully that made some sense. I'm going to move on. I've got other things to play with here. Excuse me if I cough and sneeze and all that. These are my Native American tarots. I always like to follow this up with that. I'm clearing my mind. Here we go. This is the card. Thank you, Spirit. The card that I got is the Four of Pipes, which is honor. So this is the card. It looks like they're in council also. I noticed the number 44 popped up on my screen. Planning, honor though. So that's the key principle. And I think, with the cards that came up here, that's it. Always be honorable. It starts with honoring yourself. It all starts with the self. I know that might sound a little bit selfish, but if you honor yourself, then you can honor others. Like if you don't honor yourself, how can you honor others? If you don't love yourself, how will you have the capacity to love others, basically? So sometimes we need to be selfish to be selfless. Sometimes we need to go inward to go outward, basically. And then you understand that what you do to others, you do to yourself. You understand that relationship, that we're not separate beings. We're only separate by form, individual experiences, and what we can bring to the whole. But what we do to others, we do to ourselves. We all share the same energy. We're all part of the same divine mind, whole and oneness. It looks like they're in council, kind of, getting some ideas. Pipes are about peace. I have, it's interesting. I have my peace pipe here also. And, the mountains are in the background. It looks very much like the Rockies or that area. I know we have a few that tune in from Colorado. And in council. So again, I think it's just, again, a way of just saying, to kind of planning. This is a good time for planning, for brainstorming, for researching, for going within, understanding yourself better, and ideas are going to come that way. So that's kind of what I have to add with that. This deck is thanks to Doreen of Children's School of Yoga that gifted me this. This is Kyle Gray's Ascended Masters deck. I don't have I do. The Divine Masters Oracle by Kyle Gray. Okay. So here we go. All right, so again. All right. Wow. I've gotten this one before. Rama and Sita. And we got the Empress earlier. So this we had this. So we had a good, nice male, female. The Empress is kind of a monarch. The King's kind of a monarch. Then we have these two here, Rama and Sita, holy union, soulmate connection, romantic opportunity. So that's but one meaning. I'm not going to go into the book and read the whole meaning, but a lot of this is also about the synergy between the active and passive, yin and yang, masculine and feminine. I mean, some of us may be connecting with a soulmate or life partner or that. I mean, soulmates can come in many different forms. It doesn't have to be romantic. There's a teacher named Gary Zukav. I think you've heard of him, right? And I saw him on Oprah once in the 90s. I mean, I'm aware of his book and his work, but somewhere along the line, Oprah Winfrey had an epiphany, and rather than having guests on, serial polygamists with two heads, interviewing, like getting out of that and all of a sudden interviewing people like Carolyn Mace, the spiritual psychologist and counselor, and Gary Zukov and people like that. All of a sudden, there's this big transformation. So I think she asked him, Gary, do you believe in soulmates? He's like, why, yes. In fact, I have 6.5 billion soulmates on the planet right now. And I love that answer because we're all soulmates. We're all soul connected. But we travel in circles of souls. So we have a soul family. You have certain souls that we're closer to. And then within that soul family, there's certain spirits or beings that we're even closer to. And those are what we might consider our soulmates. Some are romantic, some are our siblings, some are our best friends. So anyway, that's kind of along the lines. But I also think when I see the two, it's almost like understanding the law of mirroring, that if you take the sum of all of your relationships, that's can be your partner, your family, your friends, your dog, your tree in the backyard. If you take the sum of all of that, you can understand what energy you're putting out there into the universe. Now, this doesn't work if you're isolating one relationship. Like one person's not going to 100% reflect you. It's the sum of all your relationships, basically. So when I see the two together, that makes me feel like to interject that philosophy also into the meaning of this. And I like that Mr. Floyd Chandler saying, her last girlfriend was mom for a lifetime ago, and I saw that video too. So one of our community members who has a YouTube channel, of course, we are going to plug you, Mr. Floyd, and your channeling work. I missed the last couple, but it seemed to get better and better. So that's what happens. Practice, you get better, right? So good for you. Keep up the good work. Notice one's blue and one's brown. So there's also a statement, maybe about let's not focus on the differences. Let's focus on how we're alike and how we're connected, basically. So that's another message, in terms of mastering relationships. We master relationships when we master the self, right? Because the relationships are a reflection of the self. After number one, which is the self, comes number two, which is the duality, the reflection that I reflect you, you reflect me, and we can learn from each other that way. Nobody's better than anybody. Nobody's above. We just have different levels of experience. So at this, brief moment of time and space, my experience leads me to be the facilitator right now of this live stream, but it doesn't make me better, right? So we're all equal, we're all connected, we're all love. And I think that's it's the divine union, Rama and Sita. And if Huda was on, who knows a lot about yoga and Vedic deities, he would be adding more information to us, but he's in Colorado too, and he's not on. Oh well. Life goes on, right? So, frequency of the week. Yes. We'll see if I'll be able to read the little caption without without my glasses. That'll be fun. Integration. So I think that's interesting. Integration. That's again, kind of, creating unity, right? Integrating. So this is the sacred geometry. If you look in the middle, there's a little bit of a light there, right? Or it's a little brighter. So if you gaze in that and absorb that, then you get the downloads from spirit, because geometrical shapes and patterns connect with how the universal forces are patterned, basically. So anyway, the little cat. I can read this. The frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. I love that message. Positive and negative are often more just the way we judge things, and things that cause pain or negative, things that cause pleasure or positive, or whatever. But if we transcend that, that's just the human experience. Us as spirit wants to experience. That's what we're here for, and expand and grow through those experiences. So our spirit doesn't necessarily see a bad experience, what we consider bad experience, as bad. So anyway, integration. And when Archangel Metatron comes in the channeling, one of the things that he does, he tries, I shouldn't say tries, he sets the frequency and the energy to assist us in reintegrating lost soul parts that can get trapped in like childhood traumas and past life traumas, to integrate the different parts of ourselves back into our heart. That way we're more powerful. That way we're more solid, and we have more energy, and then we can do more in our lives, and we can connect more with spirit that way. So there we have that. Moving right along. These are Jamie Sands, is it? Jamie Sam's medicine cards, and I think David Carson is the illustrator, but the two of them came up with this deck based on Native American, which would be North American animals. So sometimes I use my other deck that has animals from Africa and Asia and the other continents also. Anyway, let me clear my mind. See, somebody, Anna's mentioning. I'll flash it only because I love Melanie Beckler too. Such a beautiful soul and very knowledgeable lady. So horses, yes. So there's a response to the horses. Okay, sort of on this. You deserve, yeah. That's always a big one because again, that's that guilt and shame. The society tries to do that to us. It's like, you didn't do this to do that. How dare you? It's like shame on you. Yeah, I heard that a lot when I was a child. Shame on you. But the idea is we don't want to feel shame. We want to evolve past it. So we got the wolf, the teacher, and the leader of the pack, basically. And so wolves are about teaching, about being the teacher. Let me key 15. Let me look into that. That's one of my totem animals. I had a it's I mean where I live now, it's not quite as, I'm still like in the Catskills. It's still fairly rural, but not where I used to live. And I had a wolf it was 4 winters ago. 4 winters ago that would come and visit me. Twice he came and visited me. Anyway, wolf teacher. Wolf is the pathfinder. That's the word I was looking for. The pathfinder, the forerunner of new ideas, who returns to the clan to teach and share medicine. And wolf takes one mate for life and is loyal like dog. Well, dogs came from wolf, so it's they're all lupus, and then lupus canis or something. Anyway. Dogs are basically domesticated and interbred wolves. So yeah, and this wolf, what's pretty friendly, I have to say. At first, I thought it was a husky when it came out of the woods, but I noticed that it was big and it had those long legs and a different face, and then I realized, wow, that's a wolf. I didn't know there were wolves in the Catskills. And his fur was matted, but he let me get pretty close to him. And it looked like he wanted me to pet him, but I was like, "You're still a wild animal. I'm still going to go back into my house." But anyway, but there's a full wolf. I had a client that's a DEC officer. I showed him the picture. He said, "That's a wolf," and then he explained. I think it was an Alaskan gray wolf. But he said 2010 that they released some wolves in this area to try to slowly repopulate, because the wolves were basically annihilated from this area because the European settlers did not learn enough from the Native Americans and did not know how to live in harmony with nature. So rather than learn how to do that, they killed the wolves, because wolves like to eat chickens and other things. So, I get that to some degree, but there's ways of learning how to live in harmony with nature. But so anyway, interesting. So Christine is saying that's one of her totem animals as well. Yeah. So yeah, so that's the teacher. So what do we do as wolf people? We go out in the world, we gather information, we experience to grow. We're not afraid to experience, even though not every experience is what we would call pleasant or happy. But we learn and grow from that. We don't blame others. We see everything as a reflection of ourselves. Certainly, we recognize that other people can really dump on us and make our lives miserable. So it's not a denial or anything like that. It's just understanding things from a higher perspective. Like, well, this happened, but what? And I'll just say that what in me caused that? It's like I had things happen, physically in my body, my back primarily, and be like, why did? So what I like to do and stuff like that is go with and say, why did I manifest this, or why did I manifest this person that stole this, or manifest this situation? Was it from this lifetime? Was it from other lifetimes? And stuff like that. So anyway, that's the message I get from Wolf. And I also have an angel card as well. Well, that's nice. I like that. So Colorado's on board. I would have thought that they had the wolves all along out there, but um, so yeah, they're working on it. They're trying, and I think one of the motivations is that the deer don't really have natural predators, but now we have mountain lions, some type of cougar up here. Now we have wolves in very limited numbers, mind you. I mean, there's still a hunting season, and that's a way that helps control the populations also. Because too many deer is not a good thing. Then they too many of them starve when there's too many of them. So anyway, let me clear my mind a second. So the card I got is cancel, clear, delete. So this is Doreen Virtue's messages from the angels cards. I noticed a few people jumped on. So we're going to end shortly, and then everything you missed, you can go back and watch this as a video. So the message here is use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. So that's a good message. Don't feel guilty or shameful if you have negative thoughts. I've been meditating for 40 plus years. I have negative thoughts sometimes, but when I catch myself, it's like, all right, do I really want to manifest this? No, I don't. So I change my frequencies, do a little bit of heart brain coherence, feel grateful for the now, feel compassionate, not feeling sorry for others in the world, but compassionate towards them. Yeah, and wishing to make a difference with the work that I do. But the idea, when you feel gratitude and love in your heart, that transcends your feelings, of negative thoughts and words. So you can. It's not that hard to cancel like negative thoughts and words. Basically, we're humans. We react. Big deal. But the thing is to evolve, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says. I can't do one live stream without mentioning that name. He says, the idea is you don't want to be those reactions. You want to observe yourself having those reactions. You want to step outside of yourself and observe it happening. And that's how you change it. That's how you start to understand your programming, because when you observe yourself, you're no longer the program. You're watching the program in action. How we react to our environment and other people is predicated upon how we're programming, how we see our reality, how we see our universe, as it were, and how we respond to it. So if we don't like what we see, well, you can't just say, I'm not going to react next time, because that's not going to work. Emotions are hormones in the body. They're too powerful. But what you can do is you can start to work on subconscious reprogramming techniques. And you know what? Over time, you start to react differently to the same set of circumstances. You start to react more positively. You don't have as many negative thoughts or words or reactions, and that's how it happens. So I love Doreen Virtue, even though she had a change of direction. I love the law of attraction people, the new age people and stuff like that, the secret and all that stuff. Although I like to call it New Earth. Um, but sometimes the messages can invoke a sense of guilt and shame. It's like, you had a negative thought, how dare you, blah blah blah, or whatever. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. Have a beautiful Sunday. I believe Tuesday, I have to check my schedule, that we're doing the new moon forecast. So each new moon is a cycle. If you understand the energies right in the moment of the new moon, the astrology and the numerology, that's the template that you build upon in the entire 29-day cycle. So it's important to understand that. Then we have the new moon channeling. On Spirit Mind Family, the Patreon group, it's Akashic Records Month, so we're diving a lot into past lives and how to start to remember your past lives there. So there'll be information on how to join that. On Wednesday is Healing with the Master Teachers. I'll leave the email. It's info@atombetweentheworlds.com. I think there's only 3 or 4 spaces left. The 16th is mediumship night. I only have a couple signups so far, but those fill up. That's a maximum of 20. And then starting February 8th for 5 consecutive weeks, you're going to learn the pinnacle of my work, which is power attunement, how you can attune to the ultimate power source to consciously create your reality, to develop higher intuition, to heal yourself, and to live a much more fulfilled and much more empowered life going into New Earth. So I hope you all sign up for that. I really love to share that. It's made a huge difference in my life. Some of you know my stories. I used to be very ill, mostly with eczema and other autoimmune stuff. I've empowered myself. I don't have those issues anymore because I've recognized the mental part of it, the mind, the energetic part, the programming, the experiences, everything that led up to me not being healthy. And I'm not 100% there yet. It's always a process. But using these techniques has allowed me to really be a much happier person and much more fulfilled and much more on my path and attracting and creating what I want in my life. The fact that I'm doing this here on YouTube and people actually come on and watch and listen to me and are enthusiastic about when my next live stream is shows that I'm manifesting, living the dream. So I want to teach you guys how to do that also. Anyway, that's what I have for you. The information will be on the pinned comment, and it'll be everywhere on social media. So we're not shy about marketing around here. I'll put it that way. So have a beautiful day. Thank you, everybody that was here. I love you, and we'll see you at the next live stream.